Ladies and gentlemen, so we had a very nice surprise this evening. If you haven't already seen the absolutely disgusting Spider-Gwen gameplay on the channel, you should get on it right after this video, man. But this is arguably like 5 times worse, man. This is one of the absolute best kills I've ever had in the history of Marvel Contest of Champions. And this is my very first attempt against Labyrinth of Legends Red Hulk. So yeah, it's a little bit sloppy at the start, man. You know, we miss a few parries here and there, but it's all a little bit of warming up. But honestly, man, once this fight gets going, it is so incredibly ridiculous. Now, if you missed yesterday's video, there are kind of 2 components at play here. The first one is whenever Red Hulk uses a special attack, She-Hulk is going to refresh all of her passive Furies. And it seems that these can just stack up and up and up. So in Labyrinth, where you've got like 1.5 to 3 million health pools, this is, you know, very, very good news. But you do need to play very, very aggressively in order to utilize this. And at a drop of a hat, you know, if the opponent doesn't throw a special attack, you could lose all your Furies here. But luckily, Red Hulk is kind of one of the absolute perfect matchups for this. First off, like, he's got a special one. It's a very, very quick special one in terms of time. So, you know, you aren't waiting about for too long before you can get back in and get your in there. So that is a pretty good time, and you can see so far we've made it up to 10 Furies. I'm kind of playing it just so I can bait out as many special ones as possible. Another advantage is one of She-Hulk's brand new mechanics, which allows her to extend her Fury duration up to 50% based on how large the opponent is. So basically, Red Hulk is kind of marked as one of the biggest characters in the game, so there's kind of a lot of additional passive Fury duration that would not be there on the smaller champions. That's something to kind of bear in mind as well, and also the fact that he's not a skill character, because if you're against skill characters, you can't refresh Furies. So what you're going to see soon is going to seem pretty insane, but also bear in mind that this is, you know, really, really difficult to pull off in a lot of matchups because you're going to have a much, much shorter window to actually do it. And the Furies, again, man, there are some very, very tight moments in this video where they are about to expire. We just had the absolute dream run here, and it worked out so incredibly well. And also, just another absolutely fantastic mechanic from She-Hulk is the more Furies she has, the more likely it is that the opponent throws the special attack. So kind of the deeper you get into the fight, you know, there's almost a guaranteed chance as soon as the AI gets the interval to throw a special attack that they are going to go straight for it and play very, very aggressively, which is exactly how you want them to play, and is a pretty good time. So you can see so far we're 130 hits, and we're kind of veering on that 60% there, but really, man, we've got all of the Furies stacked up now. We're at 23 stacks, absolutely insane. Kind of spamming the special ones for the most part, because whenever we activate a special one, that also triggers a Fury as well. There are kind of 2 different ways on She-Hulk to generate the Furies, and one is you have like a 11% chance when attacking the opponent, so you know, roughly 1 every like 9 or 10 hits you're going to gain 1 Fury from that, but also the special one as well is kind of the secondary way to generate those Fury stacks. But look at that, man, a 22k medium. The damage is getting very, very nice as well. And at this point, man, I'm like, dude, this is going so well for my first run. I cannot mess this up at all. We've got to bring this one home for the channel, bring this one home for the lads, because I want to see like a perfect She-Hulk run. So we just go absolutely in the zone now. And also, one thing to bear in mind, and I think this is quite important, because a fair amount of Labyrinth gameplay you see on YouTube is with boost active. And this doesn't have any boost active at all, so we haven't got like a 30% boost, we haven't got like a 20% attack boost, so we could have 50% more attack here. Just something to keep in mind. It's a little bit crazy to think about, but a very, very interesting one. And also pointing out the fact that we are not below 50% health, so we don't have kind of that additional like damage bonus if we were to kind of drop below there from the what is it? You know, the mastery that gives you more damage when you're below 50% health. Definitely that one. So that one can be useful. But here, man, we're on 37 Furies. We are getting like 30k medium attacks. It's absolutely disgusting there. And yeah, it's just a case of beating him down now, and it's pretty much game over, man. 233 hits, just over a 4-minute kill there. Bloody impressive, man. Bloody impressive for what used to be one of the worst champions to pull in the entire game. So yeah, really good time. Now, to add a bit of perspective and also play a little bit of devil's advocate as well, I just want to say that one of the main reasons that fight worked is because Red Hulk is a larger champion against kind of the smaller and middle-sized champions. It's quite difficult to keep the Furies up. I found it a bit tricky against this old man Logan here because, you know, you've got a few seconds less on each one of your Furies, so it's just very, very annoying to get certain intervals. You can see we've already let one drop off at the start there. But I found it really, really difficult in this fight to get going. But as you're going to see when it comes to this matchup, we kind of have like phases of where we're building up the Furies, it's going really well, and then we just can't bait a special attack. You know, he doesn't go for it at certain intervals, and then we're having a little bit of a bad time there because we have not refreshed our Furies and just dropped them all off. And when you drop the Furies, man, it feels bad. It's like dropping a combo that you can't really do anything about. So it's definitely one of the downsides of the character. And I think overall, and this is something important to talk about, is maybe the viability of She-Hulk for a full Labyrinth of Legends run, because I think she's definitely got like certain fights where she'd be very good and very useful for. At the moment it seems, I don't know if this is intended or not, but She-Hulk is not poison immune, but to be fair, like even if she isn't poison immune, which hopefully they are going to add back to the character, her signature ability should allow her to still fight Abomination, although ideally, you know, full immunity would be really good, and she'd be fantastic for that matchup to bring as a poison immune character. Also Unstoppable Colossus, I think she'd be fairly decent for kind of the standard version of Colossus as well. Might have a really, really strong matchup there. I think she'd be quite good for magic just because she has like a load of additional attack with her signature ability, and also the reduced power gain on magic as well. I imagine that's going to be really, really valuable for kind of the survivability of She-Hulk in that matchup. I think Venom, if you can bait out a lot of special ones, might be a really, really good matchup for this champion as well. Maestro might be okay. I think kind of baiting out the special attacks, you know, if you're very good at dodging the special one, it might be alright, but you've got to consider as well, Maestro's special one, in terms of the animation time, is quite long, so I feel like it would eat into your Furies quite a bit, and maybe not make, you know, She-Hulk the absolute best option for that fight. So, you know, thinking about it, it's a little bit weird where and where not she might be a super useful champion in Labyrinth. But I think as well, when we look at some of the deep Labyrinth fights, there are maybe some interesting matchups where She-Hulk could be really, really good for. I think one of the main ones is maybe Juggernaut. I'm interested to see if in this beta, maybe somebody's going to beat me to it, but getting to Juggernaut and Labyrinth of Legends and attempting a one-shot there, it could turn out really, really well if you can kind of play aggressively and also interrupt those Unstoppables. So I'd absolutely love to see somebody do that. And if nobody else does it, then, you know, we're probably going to get around to it at some point. But there's also like Venom Pool, Hulkbuster as well, a couple of really big characters. I think the OG version of Thor is marked as a large champion as well, so it could be quite an interesting and good matchup there. But yeah, kind of all over the place. I think there are like various like little bits and bobs in Labyrinth where She-Hulk's going to be a little bit hit and miss for. I believe I mentioned this very briefly at the start of the video, but She-Hulk, you know, she relies on building her Furies to get this absolute insane amount of damage. However, if you're against an opponent of the skill class, then you cannot refresh the Furies when the opponent activates their special attack, meaning that you can't ramp up the Furies, and that she's really, really bad against skill champions. And looking at, you know, even like the first Labyrinth run, there's kind of a few skill champions you run into, like Elektra, Falcon, Daredevil. Now, none of these fights are like absolutely like game-changingly or game-breakingly hard, but you know, this will present a few problems when it comes to bringing She-Hulk into the wider Labyrinth of Legends. And as you can see here, man, I'm gutted like a fish. I lost my Furies again against old man Logan, so yeah, I think at this point we're about 300 hits in, and this is kind of your standard. I think he's marked as a medium-sized character. He's not quite small, but you know, he's not the size of Red Hulk to get that really increased Fury passive duration there, which is just absolutely magnificent, as you saw on the first kill. So yeah, I don't feel like She-Hulk is kind of a sole option for Labyrinth of Legends. I think you kind of need to, you know, have her as part of the team. But in terms of synergies as well, I think the only kind of essential one to bring, ideally you do want both the Hulk and Daredevil one, because one increases the duration of the Furies, and one also increases the potency of them. So yeah, I'm not too sure how viable she is going to be like as a Labyrinth option, but, you know, I think overall there are maybe slightly more well well-rounded champions when it comes to Labyrinth of Legends, like Stark Enhanced Spider-Man and Medusa that can deal with pretty much every single fight. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching today's video. Let me know your thoughts on She-Hulk versus Labyrinth of Legends in the comment section below. Also, what gameplay of She-Hulk and Spider-Gwen would you like to see now that we have all of this content active? Put request in the comment section below, because yeah, I'm down to make quite a few more videos on the beta this week, kind of take advantage of it, maybe play around with some other science champions as well. So we're just gonna, you know, have a little bit of fun, make the most of it, because it is only till the end of the day on Friday that we have access to this wonderful test server. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy the video, feel free to smash that like button. Aside from that, take care, thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.